I had to make this video in my program to show you something. This is why I insist about Joseph. Listen, I don't know if the three pyramids of Giza were made at the same time or the other one was newer, that they knew already how to build the pyramids, that another pharaoh in the time copied it and made a bigger one or whatever. Apparently this is found in the one in the middle of pyramid, yes? And they say that this is, wow, coils like Tesla, these ancient aliens. But listen, then they don't believe the Bible. Listen, in the time of Joseph, okay, there was a 7-year famine that was coming to all the land and all the earth. God gave him a dream to build these storehouses for the grain and stuff. Okay, now think that maybe that one was made in the time of Joseph with a step pyramid of Saqqara. And those things that you see there are tubes going down to put the grain. And everything that you see there are not coils, stairways go down to collect the grain. Why am I telling you this? Look at this. These are the grain pits, yes? Just look at that pyramid there. De verdad, they were made for tombs. Or were they made for something else? See that Saqqara complex? Let me show you this. Remember, this is from Ron Wyatt, the man that nobody believes. You don't see National Geographic, Discovery Channel. Nobody believes his stories. Yet again, it's the only archaeology that when I shouted, came out everywhere to me without me searching. His archaeology. And you see him, and it's the only one that actually matches the scriptures. What's going on here? Well, he went to Egypt too. And he believes that this belongs to Joseph. See? That's the first pyramid ever made. Anybody can tell you. It was made by Joseph. Joseph the dreamer. Please. I don't want to make this long, so I'll just put a few clips like that. And I'll put the clip that Ron Wyatt actually shows you how the pyramids were made. Look. Look at this.
Pyramid and surrounding complex, a veritable city within a city of incredible beauty and extremely advanced in design. Built on the plateau of Saqqara, adjacent to ancient Memphis, the pyramid within the complex is the first ever built in Egypt.
This one, made by Joseph, and all this inside. Look at this.
Ron Wyatt spent a great deal of time here searching for evidence which might shed light on the biblical account. Such an event is the famine described in the story of Joseph, and the distribution of grain to the other countries would have required a major facility and system of organization. When the famine came and Joseph's brothers came from Canaan to get grain from Egypt, we are told that they went.
Remember that Joseph, the story is that he was sold by his brother into slavery, collected by the Pharaoh. He was the only one who to interpret the Pharaoh's dream about 7 years of great famine that was going to destroy all animals, everything, crops. And before that, 7 years of plenty of things, so they can collect for the 7-year famine that was coming. Please, you must know that story.
To Joseph, which indicates that he personally oversaw the distribution, at least to those coming from foreign countries. And this would mean that there was certainly a central location or granary to which the foreigners came. The complex at Saqqara contains 11 massive pits, which even the Egyptians are at a loss to explain. They are not tombs.
They say they are tombs.
All tombs were underground and carefully sealed, while these were
See these holes here? Stay with that.
Accessible from the surface, and they are extremely large. But most fascinating is the fact that they are all connected by chutes.
This is what I mean. See, these chutes all underneath. You know what I mean? Look.
Ron believes these were the grain storage pits of the 7-year famine. As grain was removed from one pit, grain from the other pits flowed through the chutes, making the grain always accessible from one.
You see this? How many of you see National Geographic? The pyramids inside But they have these tunnel ways to the afterlife, an ox in a moon. You know, and maybe they were actually built to store grain or other stuff for supply, you know. I don't think it was only grain, everything that they could, no? Say that the amount of grain was much as all the sand of the earth. Imagine that. Go to the beach, just grab with one hand sand. Count it. Count how many is just in your hand. Trillions granules. And then look at the beach, how long it is. An Eastern Beach, and all La Tunara, and all the beaches of the world. That Joseph stopped counting because it was so much, he couldn't be measured. So where did he put all this? Just imagine.
Location. These are within the wall of the step pyramid complex, which has only one entrance, and it opens to a long covered passageway with small cubicles on each side.
So all this here that we're seeing, was all to connect, like the tubes that we see in here. This is what I believe. I haven't got the answers of the world, I wish. See? And all those are not coils, what they're saying now from Tesla. No, hello, video guy now. Wow, just 3 days. YouTube is like this. What? And I'm watching. I love to watch. I love themes of pyramids, and I just like history and archaeology. I just love them. I watch them all. You know, some I love, some wow. You know, but listen, it's not from Tesla coils or anything. Maybe it could be, I can be wrong, but I think those are stairways so they can go down to collect the grain. Said that those tubes are connected to some cubes, storage or something, no? Just imagine. They put the grain through there and the grain goes inside those cubicles or whatever, no? They had to be hidden so the famine wouldn't reach there. I don't know, I'm just saying, you know. Take it from this perspective. See? Just look at this. You see that pyramid there? And those tunnel ways to the afterlife. Yes. Imhotep. And actually, Imhotep was all the time, I'm Joseph. From the God, I am. I am who I am. It's what God told Moses in the mountain. I am. In Egypt, the gods are Amenhotep or Amen this, Amun Ra. But I'm from the God I'm. I'm Joseph. Just saying, you know what I mean? This is what I've learned. So, let me see, 8 minutes. I don't want to make these videos long. Just want you to go and check it out by yourself. Excuse me. Even here in the BBC, you know, where people think the pyramids were grain stores. In the Old Testament, Joseph is sold into slavery in Egypt by his brothers. Later interprets a Pharaoh's dream and helps the Egyptians survive a 7-year famine by storing grain. See? He's stored away in every city, says, in every city. Maybe that Saqqara complex was, like the Ron White's wife says, the main focal point. But in every city, he's stored away. Where? In a hole in the ground. You know what I mean? The food collected from its own surrounding fields. Thus, Joseph gathered and stored up grain in great abundance like the sand of the sea, until he stopped counting, for it could not be measured. You know, can you see it? Wow. And I'm not saying, this is the answer. But look. Please. I'm just going to put a little bit. You check it out by yourself. Wrongwired.com. Wrongwired.com. This is his videos. These are his findings. I didn't look for them. And when I shouted, they came to me. See the pyramids everywhere. In all the countries of the world. They never met each other. And they all put the same structure. This is pre-flood knowledge. Come on. Of course Joseph knew. Because God showed him that pre-flood knowledge. And he used it in Egypt. No ancient aliens. See, Ron Wyatt found this in the Egyptian Museum. And this is what, let me check. Yeah. This is what they used to put the blocks up in the pyramid. Listen, everything the Egyptians did, they put it in hieroglyphs, in the walls, painted. And one of the pharaohs, he put how he was buried and how the pyramid was built with these tools in plain sight. Why don't we see this? Look at this.
Hieroglyphics, pardon me, out at Saqqara.
Look, there it is. Those machines are these. See? And this is a spade. It's a spade for this pharaoh being buried here. And these are those tools to build this pyramid. See? Inside there, hieroglyphs.
Relief hieroglyphics that show the working mechanism of this machine.
What you see here is an entrance marker to part of the tomb complex of Onias, one of the 3rd dynasty pharaohs. Now here is a cartouche that tells us who this man was.
Come on.
That the cartouche is laying on its side instead of standing upright.
See?
This represents the fact that this person is dead. You'll notice that the symbols inside the cartouche are still upright. Now these things represent one of the many deities.
This is the man that I believe that God chose. All the archaeology that came out to me were his findings. And you see it. And it's the only one that matches actually the scriptures. Come on. That video that was edited that came out to me. That real mountain of Moses in Arabia, hidden from the world. Snipers there and everything. You know what? Why? Oh, they're hiding there. Well,
of Egypt. Therefore,
this man found it.
Die. Just the man himself dies, and these transmigrate into the next pharaoh in line. What we have here, reading from right to left, is Onias died. We have the spade, symbolizing the fact that they buried him. Then we have the symbols of the pyramid building machines.
See?
And this also means to build.
It's like that machine, but seen from the side. You know what I mean?
It appears in front of symbols of temples and this sort of thing. And then we have a pyramid, which of course is the tomb. Now represented here, we have the gifts that are presented to the dead pharaoh to maintain.
Now, these are the machines. See? That's the machine that you see there. See? In the side. That's this. Now, Ron Wyatt builds one. See? That's that machine when you turn it around. This is why they put the blocks to go up and up and up. See what I mean? Now, Ron Wyatt. See? This is what they did. Put the block there. They used to turn these things like an elevator. It goes up, you know. Ron Wyatt built one. Tried it with a car. Look.
Heavy load.
He goes to Egypt with that machine and he tries it in the pyramid. They give him permission.
Now, so we built a large barrel to lift pretty heavy load.
This is the machine. He builds one. See, with those things to turn, puts a car there. Look.
Now we have a compact car here which approximates the weight of the
beautiful machine build
on the.
Look at this. See, they start turning it. One from one side, one from the other, and look at that. He's lifting the car. You know, a car. Just 2 men. Look. Ancient aliens, this and that. National Geographic History Channel's powerhouse. Wow, Channel's hotshots. But this man doesn't come out there. Nobody believes it. This is how the human race are. If it's not famous and everybody watches, well, then it's not legitimate. Eh? Listen, this is how life works. The one that nobody believes, and that's the one that's always been saying the truth. Come on, it's always sweat like that. Y yo. How many people laughed at Mr. Culato in Main Street? Yeah, todo el tiempo, eh? And I always thought to myself, maybe we are the crazy ones. Maybe he's the one been saying the truth all along. ¿Sabe? Who stands there day after day after day after day after day? ¿Sabe? Like the disciples, they were killed, like crucified, boca abajo, no, upside down, horrible deaths. And all they had to do is, okay, it was all a lie. I'm sorry, and they lived. But they decided to go along with it. They died horribly for a lie. Look at this. Come on, so simple. And maybe they used the River Nile, but an ancient part of the River Nile that's missing, but the programs with satellites, they discovered there was an ancient part of the Nile. Maybe like that, they used water like to carry the blocks from one place to another. But when they reach there, these are the machines that they used. You know what I mean? And all this comes from Joseph the Dreamer. So he does it.
Tons, 60 feet into the
Then
air.
he goes to Egypt.
With a machine built or constructed of wood.
See, look.
Were constructed. Now, the Minister of the Antiquities asked us.
They didn't leave him to use proper stones just in case he fell and kill somebody.
Not to use a stone because of the possibility that the stone might into position.
See, look.
And they're lifting the rock.
Lifts it up. The same technique.
Or in this case, the carton.
And imagine all of that full of those machines. See, almost like a scaffolding. We have to dramatize everything. Tesla coils, this and that. Yeah? And maybe everything is in plain sight. But yeah, what do we know? These coils and this stuff. Yeah, maybe it's been this all along. Joseph. Yeah. They find those writings in that stone that says it's written about the 7-year famine and plenty. What are the odds? And the grain pits and the land of Goshen in the Bible, Avaris. Yes? Yeah, of course. But yet again, this is the same man that found all this. All this. Wow, so accurate to the Bible. And the cave of Elijah and the split rock. And the 12 wells to this date. Noah's Ark. The anchor stones. Yeah, it's the same man. It's the same man. All along in a book they call Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. It's the only book that actually tells us the truth. Who we are, why are we here. This is the history that went before us. This is this and that. But like humanity, we know it all. We plant our seeds of knowledge, and because the man in white with the ties said so. Listen, you can be more clever than that man. Why? Because he says so. He wasn't there in that time. He's presuming things. But ever since I get my life turned upside down, everything that happened to me, and these stories that when I shouted, all this from this man only came out to me. No National Geographic traditional stuff that will never change. I watched those traditional stuff like everybody else. Yeah. But when that thing happened to me, it came out everywhere without me searching. Without even putting YouTube. Just put the television on, a picture of Ron Wyatt there. Again, that man. Who is this? What's going on here? That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Wow. So, love you all. Just gonna check said everything. Yeah. So, love you all. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.